G'day everybody, we've got another quick used tool review for you today. I assume this one you would still factor into the tool review, even though it's not an atypical tool. But if you want to buy one of these things, where do you go? You go to a tool shop. So we're talking about Milwaukee Heated gear today. Milwaukee Heated gear has been on the market for a number of times. It first emerged a number of years ago in their heated jackets, about 2010. Someone out there will know the exact year, but in any event, they've gone through multiple generations now. Some of the things have changed, some of the things have stayed the same. The range has expanded now, but why would you buy Milwaukee Heated gear? Because you can own any of it. Bit of a spoiler alert here. Generally, the way I review tools is the big question is, would I buy it again? Now, in this case, with Milwaukee Heated gear, yeah, I would, I have. I think I've owned like 3 or 4 different jackets now. I've got a couple of hoodies. I've bought heated gear for other members of my family. But in this review, why would you buy Milwaukee as opposed to anybody else? So we're going to have a look at that. Firstly, I run mostly Milwaukee gear. I've done a video of Milwaukee cordless tools, which you can go and have a look at, as to my reasons why I jumped to Milwaukee. Really, at the time, the principal reason that I went to Milwaukee was it was the first cordless drill that I came across that had a steel chuck after changing from Makita, which at the time I'd had a shocking run with. Nowadays, I know lots of people who run Makita very happily. For whatever reason, I had a terrible run with them over a number of years, and they only had a 12-month warranty at the time. Now the Makita warranty is much better. But back then, it was only 12 months, and I was sick of tools burning out in basically 12 months in one day. I wanted a steel chuck on a cordless drill in Milwaukee, had a good warranty, had a 5-year warranty, so I jumped to them. And you know, I've been on the platform for a while now. I've got a number of batteries, got a number of all different things in terms of cordless tools. So when I went to buy a heated jacket, Milwaukee's where I went. So I started, I think, with Generation 1. Generation 1, it had a different shell to what it does now. Now it's got a kind of a harder, it's almost a coarser feeling shell. And the only thing it'd do was heat. It'd heat the jacket. And that's pretty much all it had. From Generation 2, I'm pretty sure onwards, when I jumped to Generation 2 jacket, it still had a very soft jacket. I found that it pilled really easily. It had a synthetic lining, and inside the sleeve it would pill really, really badly. Now it's a fully acrylic lining in the sleeves, although there still is fleece in it underneath here. It's still a fleece, but there's no fleece in the sleeves anymore. It used to pill. It was, not great. And the second generation and the first generation jackets, I didn't find the outer shell of it, the outer material, quite as hardy. It was very, very soft, and it didn't wear as well as the modern jackets, in my opinion. But from Generation 2 onwards, I'm pretty sure that's right, it had the heated pocket warmers, where you put your hands in your pocket. You don't have to have the jacket on, you can just heat the pockets. And it had additional zones in the front and the back. Now my first jacket that I bought, my Gen 1, I upgraded to Gen 2 because it had the pocket warmers, and then also came the principal feature back then that I wanted the power pack with the USB plug, so I could charge my phone off the battery power pack. In fact, that was one of the principal reasons I bought my jacket, is because I had a phone at the time that wasn't known for lasting a long time if you use it a lot, and I thought that was actually quite useful. And at the same time, I was doing a trip around the world, and I wanted a warm jacket, and I wanted the ability to charge my phone on the hop, so Milwaukee fit the bill there. Anyway, so I went to Gen 2, but my first impressions of Gen 1 and Gen 2 jackets was not great. I didn't feel like the heating performance wasn't exactly where I thought it should have been. And that wasn't actually, to be fair, that wasn't actually Milwaukee's fault. That was my fault. I bought too big a jacket. Generally back then I would buy size large clothing in shirts and stuff, or equivalent t-shirts. I'd buy size large, and the jacket was it was a bit loose. I find one of the big things with Milwaukee jackets, and I've spoken to a few people who have owned them, or who do currently own them, and they've found the same issue, If you buy a jacket, like I can wear a size L, and it's actually not too bad in the sleeves, it's not too bad in the length here, but it's loose. It's loose in the body, and when you're working, you might feel like, you know, if you're out in the paddock like I am on the farm, you want a bit of movement. You don't want to be tight. You don't want to be constricted. So I got a looser jacket. Just got large. Yep, that'll do. And it was too loose. And I find with the heated jackets, you want a pretty tight jacket. You want it pretty snug, because those heating elements, you want them basically pressed up against your skin. Otherwise, you don't get the full effect of the heated jacket. If you get, so I stepped down to a medium in the prior generation of this, in a grey one. And then a friend of mine had a small, and I tried his small, and I went, oh, actually, I should probably wear a small. This is a small, so I got rid of that one. And I've got this one now, which is in size small, and it's the best performing jacket that I've had. And I'm very confident that the reason is because when I got my first one in the Gen 1, I knew the jacket was working, because when I was in the car, I put my jacket on, turn it on, like early in the morning, in a frosty morning, you've got to wait for your car engine to heat up before you put the heater on. You jump in the car with the heated jacket on and turn it off, and when you're leaning in the seat, pushing back, you know, with your back up against the seat, and those the heating elements are pressed up against you, you can really feel the heat. Same thing as I've worn this inside at home on cold nights when they're trying to stoke the fire up to get the house warm again. I put it on the heated jacket, turned it on, and sat on the couch, and you can feel the heated elements a lot better. So in size, in the hoodies and jackets now, I wear a small, even though I generally wouldn't wear a small. They're not, you know, skin tight, but they are a lot more fitted than probably what I would normally wear, especially for work gear. But they really heat you up a lot better. So I would suggest that that's what you want to do. With this jacket in size small, I can just get a hoodie underneath it, like a heated hoodie, and I can wear a heated hoodie and then a jacket over the top. But it starts to get a little bit, you know, restrictive of the movement at that time. So it is quite snug. But I would go to get the full impact out of the heat. If the heat is the principal thing that you want out of a jacket, get one that fits you fairly snugly. Don't get a loose one. You won't get the full heating properties out of it. And most people I know who are disappointed, who have said, oh, I'm a bit disappointed with the performance of the jacket, that's been why. So the other things with the Milwaukee jacket, as I said, is you get a charger with a USB socket, and it also has a power level. So you push the button and it gives you a power level. That is a downside with the hoodies. So if you get a heated hoodie, you neither get pocket warmers, nor do you get the additional features of having a USB charger or a power indicator, which is a bit annoying. So for example, my wife has a heated hoodie, and she's just got the standard hoodie power pack. Now, she doesn't worry about charging her phone so much, but it is pretty annoying not being able just to go hit the button and see where the power level's up to. Milwaukee, if you're listening, doubt you are, but if you are, you really should have that as a feature of all the power adapters across all of your heated gear. The power adapter will take batteries, any battery. This is a 2 amp hour cylindrical battery. It will take any of the M12 batteries. You can go down to the smaller than 2 amp hours, we can go to bigger. I have worn jackets with the big square, 4 amp hours M12s. You can do it, but then you've got to put it in the pocket back here, and that big square base on it, I wouldn't recommend it. Like, you could probably, maybe you could do it if you were out in the field. You're not going to sit down. If you're going to sit down, it's just digging into your side. This is not too bad. Like, I do find that sometimes when I get into the car, I want to shuffle the jacket around just to make sure I'm not leaning on the power pack. But with those big square ones, it's pretty hard to sit down in any fashion and not have it dig into you somewhere. If you're out in the field, all you're dealing with is the weight. But if you're going to sit, that is a bit of a pain. I wouldn't recommend it. Generally, if you were buying one of these, I would buy the biggest amp hour cylindrical battery that you can to run it, to give you the longest battery run time that you can. I wouldn't jump to the square ones. I think that that's a bridge too far. Same thing with the hoodies. I wouldn't put a square one in a hoodie, because you're just going to stretch it out. It's going to look ridiculous, and it's going to be a lot more noticeable. This you can maybe get by You know, it does make it a lot more prominent, this big battery pack on the side. When you put the square one in there, it can be done, and you can find it very difficult to zip it up, if you can zip it up at all, because this zips down to prevent it from falling out. You put a square battery in there and it becomes very difficult if you can even get it closed at all. But with a hoodie, no chance. So with a hoodie, I definitely would restrict it to the cylindrical batteries. As I said, few deficiencies with the hoodies, no pocket warmers, no USB charger, no battery indicator, so you've got to keep that in mind. But in terms of what I wear, if I'm going outside, I'll wear this in wintertime quite frequently. If I'm just hanging around the house, a hoodie is really good. The heated hoodies are good just for, you know, just relaxing, especially with the heater element. If you're like me and you haven't got instant heat in your house, you have to wait for your fire to heat up. The heated hoodies are not a bad thing, and they're quite comfortable. They're quite well made. I've had hoodies for a number of years. I got a red one and a grey one. I find the grey one, it's a little better. It doesn't have the the usual properties of a red hoodie, that it's not going to fade as quickly. I think the material's a bit hardier. That might just be subjective, but that's my opinion. In fact, my wife prefers my grey heated hoodie to her red one, just in material feel. So whatever, take that as a, pick two up. The red one I think looks probably a bit cooler, but pick them up. Have a feel of them. I think the material is different between the red and the grey, and I would pick the grey over the red and the grey. But anyway, these come in different colours as well. I haven't seen any discernible difference in material nowadays. You can sometimes find people have got new old stock of the previous generation jackets. Personally, I'd stick with the current generation with the heavier material. No polar fleece in the sleeves. I'd stick with the newer ones. It's also got Velcro cuffs on them now. If you want to wear gloves underneath them, or you want to tighten up your cuffs, that's a good thing. But really, anything from generation 2 to now, apart from the material and how the jackets are constituted, they're pretty much the same. There's not a whole lot in it. Zips in the pockets. You've got an extra pocket here. There's not too much difference in it. There's a hole from here that goes into the jacket and then goes into your pocket for your phone. So if you want to charge your phone, you can just run your charger cable inside your jacket into here. Washing them and maintaining them, I haven't found a problem with them. Follow the instructions. Don't necessarily do what I say. Follow the instructions, how I wash them. I think it actually might be outside the instructions. What I do is take the battery out and I put them on a gentle wool wash cycle and wash them with actual proper wool wash, liquid wool wash. Put them in the washing machine, wash them. I've never had a problem. Across multiple jackets, I've never burnt a jacket out. What I have burnt out is I have burnt out the power adapter. So that was really annoying. In the very first one I had, this burnt out, and it burnt out in basically 12 months in one day. Took it back in and I said, well, we've got Milwaukee's got a 5-year warranty on tools, 3-year warranty on batteries. My adapter's wild and I want to claim it under the 5-year warranty. No dice. These things are a 12-month warranty. So what do you mean a 12-month warranty? The lowest thing you have, a battery's 3 years and all your tools are 5. Why is that not at least the 3-year warranty? No. The jackets themselves and these bits are only 12 months. So I actually had to buy another one of these, which was really, really annoying because these are dear. Especially when you consider what a whole jacket as a skin, not with battery and charger. So this comes with the skin of the jacket. When you factor what this is worth compared to just buying this piece, in my opinion, is a rip-off. Hoodies aren't too bad. You can get them for about, I think I bought the last couple I bought were about $80, I think, on sale. Yeah, it's not too bad considering, hoodies, a brand name hoodie is probably, I don't know, nowadays, what, $60? So paying an extra $20 for the heating elements and the power adapter, that's probably not too bad. I think it would be worthwhile Milwaukee giving you an option, or even just canning it, rather than $90 for hoodies, say, make it $100 and give you the better charger. I'd pay the extra $10 to get this as opposed to the crappy one they give you with no charge, with no charge indicator and no USB. Even if you're not using the USB, the charge indicator, to my mind, would be worth it. Because I don't know about you, but my Milwaukee charger lives in my shed. My clothing lives in my house. So if I can't test this quickly, I've got to trek all the way out to the shed and charge it to get an idea of where this is. Thankfully for me, I do have a heated jacket, one of these. So when I take this off, I take this out. So if I want to check any of my batteries in my hoodie, I just plug it in, hit the button, and it'll tell me where the charge is up to. So that's how I do it. But if you don't have a jacket and all you've got is a hoodie, you don't have that option. So I've been pretty happy with them. The only thing that has worn out for me is this. I have got rid of a couple of my jackets because as I said, I've gone down to small and I've got rid of the bigger sizes, and I've upgraded as new generations have come out. If I've got the previous generation to this one, which my brother has, would I upgrade to the current generation? No, I wouldn't. It's just aesthetics as best as I can tell. I don't see a real difference from the previous generation to this one, but suit yourself. As for other brands, there are some things about the other brands that I think are quite cool. Milwaukee makes a heated vest, and Makita make a jacket with removable sleeves. That's an omission in my mind for Milwaukee. I would much rather, I don't like the look of the Milwaukee vest. I think it looks stupid, but you might like it. I don't like it. I don't think it looks very good at all. I would actually like a heated vest to give me a bit more arm mobility in wintertime. Because I said, I've stepped down to a small jacket, just having a vest, and to be able to wear something light while keeping my core warm would be quite useful, but I don't like the design of the Milwaukee heated vest. The Makita design with the removable sleeves in their jacket, I quite like that. I think that's a good idea. So if that's important to you, maybe you want a Makita. But pretty much which way you go will depend on what power tools you have. Except if you said, okay, well, I don't have it. I have Milwaukee M18 tools, but I have no Milwaukee M12 tools. Well, then this jacket's probably, you don't need to buy Milwaukee, because you can choose which M12 battery you want, and you could buy, you could buy a Makita heated jacket, or you buy a Milwaukee heated jacket, whatever you wanted to do. You need to have a look at, what I would suggest you do is have a look at the other 12 volt things that manufacturer has. So for example, you might say, look, I can get a jacket from anyone, but I really, really like those Milwaukee heated hoodies, so I'd really like a Milwaukee one. Fine, that might be the catalyst for you to buy Milwaukee. Or you might go, I could buy a Makita, or I could buy a Milwaukee or another brand, but I really like that Milwaukee M12 cordless soldering iron. And that might be the reason that you go with Milwaukee. Or you might look at something else that another manufacturer makes that says, they're 12 volt this, Milwaukee don't make it, or I think it's better, so I'll buy their heated jacket so I get batteries that I can interchange with my jacket, as well as the other M12 stuff, 12 volt stuff that I might buy. So it's much of a muchness. I've found the jackets fine with one exception that I've noted. Get a smaller size and I think you'll be very happy. I've run them for many years and will continue to. In wintertime, I really like my heated jacket. I really like my heated hoodies. So I'm more than content to recommend them. But in terms of the brand you buy, seriously, I would just have a look at what M12, what 12 volt gear you want to own and buy that brand. I hope this was useful for you. Thank you for watching.